bit about Slime Rancher. Firstly, I started playing this game back when it was early access, so I even have an old save file from back then, though the footage today will be from my latest game. Anyway, it's a fun, colourful game where you explore a world full of these cute slime creatures. My favourite are the kitty type slimes, so like the hunters and the tabbies, sabres. They actually remind me of one of the first things I ever made in 3D Max, way back at college. Though I don't have any saved images of it from that time, so here's a rough doodle of it. I think I actually based it on something else that I saw on DeviantArt around that time. Anyway, slimes are a big mainstay of the fantasy RPG genre, so when I first learned about this game, I thought it was super cool to have a game all around slimes. Your main goal is to collect them and farm their plots. To farm their plots, you need to basically capture slimes to raise on your farm and feed the slimes resources. Veggies, fruit and meat being the main food types, though there are 2 special exceptions, which I'll get into later. On your farm you build housing called corrals for the slimes and gardens for growing world-unique fruit or veg. As for the meat, that comes in the form of chickens, and you can raise these chickens either in a coop or just let them loose on your farm. Now this is clearly where my problems began because OMG, look at all the chickens. Slime Rancher, more like chicken organizer. Chicken Apocolypse? Maybe apocalyptic should have been today's A, because I feel like I am single-handedly creating a mass overpopulation of winged food items that get themselves stuck in every nook and cranny. Anyway, putting that aside, outside of just selling plots to make cash to upgrade and expand your farm, you get requests from other people to get certain resources or slimes in exchange for other stuff. The people, of course, are NPCs. Bob is my favourite because he always wants chickens, and I'm totally convinced he's just a bunch of slimes in a trench coat and hat. You've got to remember to upgrade your gear too, to make exploring and stuff easier. Also then there is Club 7, which offers different colour schemes for your gear and upgrades to areas, your gear, etc. Just different stuff for different levels and improvements on machines. Also, of course, once you unlock it, there's the refinery for making machines, some of which can harvest resources to make other machines. And finally got all the stuff I needed for making drones. It certainly halves the time it takes me usually to sort out the farm, because sorting out the farm takes a lot of time. The world is large and interesting. The main hazard to your exploring and farming is tar. These dangerous monsters are what happens when a Largo slime eats the plot of a slime it isn't. They devour slimes and everything else. They will even eat you. You can splash them with water to get rid of them, but I like to yeet them into the sea. Other hazards are angry slimes. Food usually calms those down though. And, of course, just being a klutz or forgetting your jetpack has run out. When you fall in the sea, etc., you lose time. You know, you sleep for 24 hours, I think it is. Which, if your farm is a little unstable, could be a bit problematic. Certainly means some time maintaining the farm before going out again. There are even more areas to explore once you meet the requirements with certain characters. These offer mini challenges with cool rewards. Though, back to chickens. Like, I really need a more advanced coop with the amount of chickens I have. Still, I got it and upgraded everything because I could. And there is also this chicken cloning machine. I'm going to try it out on morbid curiosity. I guess this chicken cloner also sometimes destroys chickens? Interesting. You know, I'm wondering about how this chicken free ranging works. Inside the coops, the chickens stop breeding at 12 chickens inside a coop. Having deluxe coop doubles that, so you'd be able to have 24 chickens. I wonder if the same rules apply to the chickens in the general area. Well, I guess we can try to measure out the area and see if the space here has enough coop areas worth to account for all the chickens. You know, maybe I should just print screen the map and use that to calculate. Just gonna go for rough measurements. Oh, I actually got close with my steps for the coop. Haha! As I took 12 steps along each side, and in the map it's 6mm each side. So 2 steps to 1mm. Interesting. Not so correct on stepping the whole map though, but I guess I was stepping over random stuff and I am making allowances to make this a rectangle rather than the shape of the area is. I'm not counting part of the farm where the house is because keeping chickens is harder up by the house for my experience. It might be to do with them like falling off the back. I don't know. Right, so 31 by 60. That's 1,860. Then take away the area of the other square corral areas, as if you are using all the building spaces. Now take that and divide it by the corral size. And if chickens work in the wild the same way, then 46 lots of 12 chickens is 552 chickens would be allowed in this space. Though maybe free-running chickens just work on completely different rules. You know, I have all these chickens in my bank. I wonder if I could flood an area with chickens. Probably with enough effort. I've seen people put as many slimes as possible in a corral before they break loose through the air net or turning one of them into a tar intentionally. Anyway, that sort of thing isn't really for me. I just like running my farm and doing the little side quests. It's fun aiming towards a really efficient farm where I can kick back more and pet a honey tabby without worrying that everything is going to go to heck. Oh, and you may remember me mentioning slimes with special requirements. While there are slimes you can't catch but can feed, there are 2 slimes that you can catch but don't eat regular food. Puddles are the first you encounter and need a pond to live. They just sit in the water and make plorts. Very easy, good fun. They get shy if you have too many slimes in their area though, so, you know, just be careful with how many you've got. I think if they're shy they don't make plorts, so yeah, just bear that in mind. The other type are fire, which are much later on, and you need an incinerator to keep them. You also need to put things in the incinerator to feed ashes to the fire slime, so you need to keep your ash levels kept up. Also, the fact I have an incinerator set up is why I don't have a tabby slime in my main lot for chicken control anymore. I was counting them once and I couldn't find one of the tabbies. I tested the incinerator on a pink slime and yeah, well, tabby may have accidentally jumped into the dang thing. I've had chickens post themselves into the request machine before, so I thought it best not to risk it. At the moment I only have 2 wild roaming tabby crosses in a couple of my areas. They are pretty easy to keep, but the crystal one does have the habit of smashing into me and it hurts. Anyway, in summary, the game is fun and I highly recommend it to anyone who enjoys farming sims with a splash of adventure and cute creatures. Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher. Shout out to my husband and my cat for supporting me. And if you want to support me, head over to my Patreon. Slime Rancher!